What else bothers you about grocery shopping?
Just the people trying to keep up with everything that I need to have, trying to remember to not get the cold stuff until the very end of the list, trying to, like, if I can't find the one thing that I'm looking for, making a decision of what I can substitute for it or whether I just can do without it, or I don't know. I have a little problem with the decision making itself, maybe.
Let's break that out. Um, you make a list before you go shopping?
If I don't like a list, I won't get anything I need.
Describe for me what it was like before you learned you had to have a list.
I'd go and just randomly buy stuff, get home, and then start putting things away, and realize when I go to the bathroom, oh, I didn't get my toilet paper, things like that, or what I was really planning on eating that night, I don't even have it.
What kind of strange stuff did you come home with?
Um, it wasn't really just, it was a lot of the impulse buys. Like, I'd get, like crackers, chips, and stuff like that. It wouldn't be things I needed, but it wouldn't be things that just, because I was so scared about money because I had so little of it for so long that I wouldn't just buy things, I guess all willy nilly. I was pretty tight with everything.
With the list, for example, you go to the store, you always buy the same toilet paper.
Cheap.
So your decision is guided by price.
A lot of the time.
Do you ever get to a spot in the grocery store where it's like you were going to get cereal and there were too many choices, there were just too many options for you to really be able to decide?
Not really, because on the cereal I don't do like the sugary sweet stuff, and whatever I can find in like the higher priced box, you can find it in a generic bag. It's just as good and cheaper, and I'll end up getting that.
So you're guided by your cost consciousness.
A lot of it, yes, sir.
Does the process of going to the grocery store wipe you out?
Yes, sir. Most anything. I do a lot of things, but if I do spend like an hour of intense focus on a certain task, there's a good hour and a half to 2 hours that I'll sit there and really just absolutely do nothing and decompress. I can't really think about things. I can't really do anything. There's no task performance. I mean, I just can't do anything.
Now, what we're doing now, there's just the two of us talking. There are a couple other people in the room, but they're not involved in the conversation. Is this the kind of thing you have more success with than like in that room earlier when there were 15 or 20 people talking?
I have a problem with lots of people for just ridiculously extended periods of time. Before my accident, I knew I'd love to go do things like Six Flags and concerts and stuff like that where there's a lot of people. I've not done anything like that since the accident because
Just the more people involved.
so it's just too much, I guess, like I said, sensory overwhelming.
In what ways do you, the fancy word would be decompensate, but in what ways do things go bad for you when you put yourself in those situations?
My anxiety levels raise up real high, and I seem to get a little more agitated, but that's something I've really been working on for over the past 2 or 3 years, kind of trying to not take things to heart so much and not, I believe catastrophize was the word my therapist used, because I always expect the worst because I've had a lot of the worst that could happen.